so despite the sunny conditions, there is a breeze out there. It'll be helping Armagh in the first half. David Goff from Meath is the referee. And the team's just getting into their positions before the throw-in. That's Cian Hernan, first start for him. It's a kind of new look, left-hand side to the Galway defence. Sean Fitzgerald behind him, his first league start as well. Matthew Tierney has gone to the middle of the park. Rian O'Neill is out there, as we would expect him to be, for the throw-in. And David Goff just synchronises the watches. And off we go. Big night in Armagh, big match for these two. And that's Jarly Oak Burns, has had an incredible league campaign. Kieran McInconor, his brother, is on the bench. I'm sure Amy, if she's not here, she's watching somewhere. And that ball has gone straight out of play.
First blood to Armagh in that famous quarter-final last year. Galway won every single one of the throw-ins that day, Dara. So that's something that I'm sure Kieran Donaghy was working on with the lads to make sure they won that from the off, and they did today.
That's played for Cathal Sweeney, and Sweeney in that deep position, in trouble. And here come Armagh with Soupy Campbell looking for the first score of the game, and Stephen Campbell has got it. Inside a minute, the pressure put on Cathal Sweeney, and Stephen Campbell was in like a shot.
Yeah, great score, brilliant from Stephen Campbell. Big tackle from Rory Grugan initially to turn over Cathal Sweeney, and ball kick out out over the sideline now. Another chance for Armagh to attack. Expect him to test out Conor Gleeson with a couple of high balls inside as well. Dara.
And that one has gone high and across the field. Missed Matthew Tierney. Jarly Oak Burns. So that move breaks down. That's John Maher. Paul Conroy. Peter Cook not beside him in the middle of the field today. This is Dylan McHugh. Now, Shane Walsh from Kilmacud Crokes. Really important touch by Kieran Macken, and that took the edge off the attack.
Yeah, Armagh deploying a similar tactic that they used in Tralee against Kerry. Barry McCambridge is picking up Shane Welch and Aaron McKay sweeping in front of him, so it was effective that night on David Clifford. So they seem to be setting up with a similar setup at the moment here, Dara, but it's something we'll keep an eye on as the game goes on.
Jason Duffy. Joe McElroy from Armagh Harps. They describe him very much as a Kieran McGeeney player. He's been in and out of the team, so this is a big opportunity for him this evening. Ethan Rafferty. Aidan Forker. But the last man back is the fullback, Aaron McKay. Greg McCabe.
Marked difference from Armagh set up inside tonight, Dara. They've plenty of bodies forward, playing with four inside the full forward line, similar to Derry set up. So we'll see if that bears fruit for them.
Stephen Campbell, there's some slick handling. Rory Grugan, Rian O'Neill is there with him. They're firing the ball around at pace, and Galway get numbers in and draw the foul. Free out Galway.
One thing about that kind of a setup, when you've plenty of bodies forward like that, you have to be very slick with your handling. Stephen Campbell was a bit slow in moving the ball that time.
It's been one of the big talking points about Armagh, the, I suppose, change in approach, or the difference in approach from last year, and this kind of development into a more counter-attacking team. Now, there are many who believe that's just down to the fact that they've lost and had so many players out injured and just had to go for a defence-first priority. But now they've left just one forward, which is fair enough. And there's Andrew Murnan going back to try and take on John Maher. 17 is Cian Hernan. Stephen Campbell's point separating the two teams. Johnny Heaney. Damien Comer is here with the Galway team, completing his return from that bad leg injury. Paul Kelly. Cathal Sweeney. Cian Hernan. Hernan just lets it off. They go back with Cathal Sweeney again from Salthill, Knocknacarra. John Daly is free, and that's where the ball has gone. Armagh have left 2 forward, so defending with 12 outfield players. Here's Paul Conroy.
He thought about that outside of the right there for a split second again, Darry. I saw him practicing it beforehand. The breeze favours it, but he pulled out of it at the last second.
Yeah, they were all practicing it, and most of them scoring, but different under the heat of battle to get that right. Paul Kelly. Dylan McHugh is the decoy. Here's Paul Conroy. Now he has a go, but it's a ball into the centre. Nice shape on that. It's last touched an Armagh player, so it's out for a 45.
Yeah, he tried it there again. He got a great point against Monaghan from similar, maybe slightly further in, but screwed across the goals, and they're after winning a 50 out of it. But you commented in Armagh setup already there. I prefer it the way it is already tonight. They have Rian O'Neill close to goals. Rory Grugan is playing between midfield and there, and it just gives them that outlet ball, and they can look to kick the ball in transition rather than having to run the length of the field as they did tonight in Tralee. So that looks to be a change that they have straight away from the last time out.
So Matthew Tierney is going to kick this. He has been very impressive from open play. His fielding this year has been fantastic, and also really impressive on the frees too. So it looks like with Shane Walsh back in the team that Tierney at the very least is going to take the ones off the right hand side.
I think that's a good call. We'll see here how he gets on with this kick now. Long kick.
The wind is tricky, and he kind of scuffed at that one. Now look, the wind is difficult. Not his best effort for sure, but there will be others.
Yeah, as time goes on, it'll be... Oh, David Goff is on. The 2 boys were inside. Both Shane Welch and Barry McCambridge were inside the D when the kick out was taken, so David Goff is on his game anyway.
I think that's the first time this year I've seen that, and we've both watched a lot of matches. It does happen.
Yeah, they were both inside, in fairness. Yeah, he's on the...
David Goff is not going to miss something like that. So the ball thrown in to restart the game. Jason Duffy holding off the pressure. Now it's Kieran Mackin. Big noise in the athletic grounds tonight. Massive home support. Charlie Oak sets off, and he continues his run. Massive pace. He's still got the ball. He's almost impossible to stop. Turns back around. Good block down in there on the shot from Charlie Oak Burns. It ran away from Murnan, and then, well, let's just say it's gone wide off Tiernan Kelly.
Yeah, it was a kind of a raw effort by Tiernan Kelly in the end, because he's a good footballer. He just pulled in it when it came near him. Some bursts all right by Charlie Oak Burns initially, but after making up such ground to try and kick it over the bar as well, then was probably taking a small bit too much on.
And we're delighted the sun is out, but as you can see, it's causing big issues for everybody over on the far side. Both management teams, they're looking straight into it. That's an outstanding catch from Paul Conroy.
Yeah, excellent. And again, a more front foot approach from Armagh tonight. They're pressing the kickouts, they're not giving them up. They're looking to go after Galway. I think Ben Creeley has been a miss in the middle of the field for them, Dara, to be honest, in terms of pressing the opposition's kickouts, because he's excellent in the air, and he was very good for them last year when opposition kickouts in particular came long. So another opportunity for Matthew Tierney here.
Yeah, and as you say, I mean, it's something that they haven't really been doing a lot of in their matches up to now, and the personnel issues. Tierney doesn't want to kick that, play a factor in it. Conroy just shovels it off rugby style. Dylan McHugh, Paul Kelly, John Daly, Johnny Heaney. Unusual to see him wearing 11. Shane Walsh had that time in Australia after the club final victory. John Daly. Forced sideways. You can see how deep Grugan and Murnan are. Armagh leave Duffy and Rian O'Neill forward. Matthew Tierney just scuttles along the ground, and Johnny Heaney is foul. There was very little question about that. Greg McCabe behind him, but Heaney just made sure the referee saw what happened there.
Galway are certainly going to earn every score the way Armagh are set up. They're set up very well there. They're hunting. Once they're a pass away from the ball, they're going in groups at it.
John Daly, as Galway try and pick their way through. Paul Kelly. Armagh, well, try and pick a way through that cover. Hernan played it forward for Galway. Now Matthew Tierney. Tierney gave that a fair wallop, and it drops in, and it's caught by Ethan Rafferty. In other sports, they talk about hang time. That was up there for a while, and Rafferty has given the ball away, but the referee, he was fouled after he made contact with the ball. Rafferty down, injured, and it's going to be a free to Armagh from where the ball was caught, ironically, by a Galway player.
It was Matthew Tierney. Yeah, he was a split second late, so expect to see him getting booked here. David Goff is on it. He's speaking to him at the moment. I think Charlie Burns did well to put serious pressure on Matthew Tierney's initial kick, and Ethan Rafferty watched it the whole way and caught it and came out, then did well.
Yeah, it was a good catch by him. So they're going to play on without him.
Yeah, interesting. Even if it's a goalkeeper, it's not a head injury, so he's up and he's at it again.
Big ovation for Rafferty as he gets back to his feet.
They've that forward set up now again, Dara, where they've a set of fence. They've plenty of bodies. They've 4 of them, 3 of them inside the full forward line, 4 of them, 5 of them. So let's see, can they work it now with the bodies in there?
Daly initially was the sweeper, and they fired that in and wide, and that's not the best use of the ball. That's their second wide.
Yeah, you know it is still a work in progress. It's good to see the intent though, and it's something that they've clearly probably done a bit of work on over the last couple of weeks. Again, they have a good press in place. They're forcing out long. All good to see.
Paul Conroy's over on the far side. John Marr good in the air too. It drops right down on top of Conroy. Johnny Heaney for Galway as they secure their own ball. Another long kick out from Rafferty. For Gleeson, should I say. It's Patrick Kelly. He's pretty good in the air too, and with the ball attached to his left foot. Jason Duffy is the Armagh defender.
The out for overcarrying, yeah, great pressure. Armagh have a good mix so far. They're getting bodies forward, but they're still getting plenty back when Galway are in possession.
Armagh with 5 turnovers already in the first 13, close to 13 minutes. They're unbeaten here at the Athletic Grounds. Stephen Campbell. Aidan Falker. Aaron McKay. Joe McElroy, possession for him. Murnan
he might put it in
is
now.
Far forward. Here's Ethan Rafferty. Rian O'Neill surrounded by maroon shirts. It squirted out to Duffy. Duffy can't hang on to it, and Galway turn it over with their captain Sean Kelly. That's a big boost for their defence. They were under the cosh there, but again got numbers around the player in possession.
In fairness to Goff, he doesn't buy those frees either.
That's a really good ball. Here is Paul Kelly now. Kelly turns back around. Cathal Sweeney might take on the shot. He does, but he's pushed it wide.
Yeah, as I was saying, in fairness to David Goff, Rian O'Neill tried to buy a free there. Free maybe he's got a couple of times in the Athletic Grounds over the course of the league, but David Goff wasn't buying it. And in fairness there, it might only be 1 score to 0, but the football is good in it. It's just the final pass or the final kick is maybe leaving both teams down at the moment, but it's enjoyable even if it is low scoring.
Charlie O'Burns, he always holds the attention of the viewer. That's Joe McElroy. Galway turn it over. Paul Conroy. That's too high, and it's a gift for Aaron McKay. Stephen Campbell moving the ball quickly. Now Greg McCabe. The crowd, the home crowd, reacting to what they're seeing, and this front foot attacking football from Armagh. Sort of stuff we saw them do last year. Aidan Falker, Stephen Campbell. Now they try and get pace again with Barry McCambridge. Charlie Oak-Burns, Rian O'Neill. He's all pace, all power, massive skill. Stephen Campbell scored 1. This is for 2. It's a tester for Conor Gleeson. We saw him practicing catching high balls before the match started. That wasn't particularly high, but there was pressure on him.
Yeah, absolutely. We were watching him practicing it, and you can be sure that Armagh have it in their head to test him out as well. But strong and confident from him there, and he was impressive before the game as well, the drills they were going through. So another string to his bow.
Dylan McHugh. John Daly.
Galway's approach reminds me a bit of the way Kerry were a couple of weeks ago in Tralee as well, Dara. They don't have that many bodies forward, so a lot of the game is being played in this area of the field, and it's hard to get in then. In fairness, Armagh, they're excellent at going at the ball in this kind of an area, just as they did there.
That was just pulled on. Galway only had 2 forwards inside the Armagh 20-metre line, and as Eamon pointed out, everything else was back behind them, and Armagh had lots of players back minding the house.
Yeah, I think Derry have shown us all the way that you need more bodies closer to the opposition goal and suck that screen back, as Armagh are trying to do here now.
Joe McElroy, Jason Duffy, Ethan Rafferty. It's a bit like a hot potato there. He got rid of it though. Armagh put 2 in close to Gleeson. Murnan and Rian O'Neill. Will they fire it in long? I thought Rory Grugan was about to do it there. Maybe Ethan Rafferty will, although it's a bit straight. Not much of a... Well, they could put an angle on it now with McElroy. There's a bit of space for Joe McElroy. Turns back around. McElroy drops it short.
Yeah, in fairness to Galway, they're doing well, Dara, and the kickers, the likes of Grug and the likes of Rafferty, when they look like they might be lining up to take a kick, they're crowding them and they're not allowing the obvious kick away. Rian O'Neill and Sean Kelly are getting friendly off the ball as well. There's plenty of contact in terms of stopping runs and stuff as well. So I'd say Rian O'Neill knows Sean Kelly wants to go and suck him out of position, and Rian O'Neill isn't for moving with him.
Shane Walsh is in at full forward for Galway. This time it's Aaron McKay who's sweeping in front of him. Aidan Falker is narrowed in too, just out of picture. You'll see him now bottom left. That's a really good run by Matthew Tierney, and he's drawn the foul too. You could see David Goff signal that his arm was pulled back by Rory Grugan.
This is the free now that'll be interesting, Dara. We were discussing it beforehand. Matthew Tierney has been brilliant for Galway so far in the league, and I think one of the factors is that he's been kicking a lot of the frees in Shane Welch's absence, and that tends to keep a player in the game even if they're not playing massively well in general play. With Shane Welch back and can kick with left and right, Galway look to be electing to let Matthew Tierney at them at the moment, which I think is a good idea. Now, to be fair to him, all of the kicks he's got so far quite tough.
Out of the hands, he's actually got a new football. He wasn't happy with the pressure in the other one.
So there's no excuses now there.
No. Or maybe it increases the pressure on him. Never mind the pressure inside the football. Crowd getting on his back. Matthew Tierney, he's missed it. He has missed it.
Yeah. And in fairness, like I said, he's kicking into the breeze. All of the kicks he's had, he hasn't had a gimme from the 20-metre line. So that's... I wouldn't be surprised at the same time if Shane Welch is getting itchy feet and he'll be looking for the next free, R45.
Rory Grugan. Greg McCabe. Aaron McKay. Now they've got the odd player free. Rory Grugan, beautiful sidestep. Barry McCambridge is up there. And the shot now from Callum Comiskey on its way, and Comiskey scores. So we've had 2 points between the two teams in the opening 19 and a bit minutes.
Yeah, great score from Callum Comiskey. He's always good in the ball. He was good in the ball tonight in Tralee as well in terms of putting a bit of ball inside. Good finish from him there. Interesting from Armagh there now as well. They're keeping 2 up. They're not going chasing back, and the Galway backs are roaring at fellas to get back. They're trying to keep it on their terms as much as possible.
Johnny Heaney. This will be Galway's 8th attack, the same number as Armagh have had. Scuttled in low, and Callum Comiskey doesn't just score points.
Well, Conroy seems to be using, I don't know, is he an issue with his left foot or something there, because he is comfortable in his left side as well, but he's using the outside of the right an awful lot, even where it's probably, it'd be more natural to use his left foot. It's clear as well, the nearest Galway player is going after Ethan Rafferty. You know, they're not giving him free rein because they appreciate his danger on the ball.
Now Galway have everybody inside their own 65-metre line as Armagh attack now with Jason Duffy. Joe McElroy.
So again, Armagh have plenty of bodies forward, but like I said, it does look like it's a work in progress. They're not exactly buzzing around at the moment. Rian O'Neill is pulling wide now, leaving space inside all right. Rafferty now is in a good position to put it in.
Yeah. There's the angle on that. Here's a tester for Gleeson now, and it's gone straight into the back of the net. Conor Gleeson lost the flight of that.
He was challenged as well there. The replay will be interesting. The umpires are calling him in. We see it here. Great ball from Rafferty. This is the one we've been expecting all along. Camera didn't drop in time. He looked like he was plowed. Jeez, there wasn't a whole lot in it. It was Kieran Mackin that was in under him. He kind of stuck his backside into Conor Gleeson as the ball was coming in.
He just got muscled off it, but from the moment it was in the air, he didn't look comfortable. So it's, Conor Gleeson would be better off just moving away from that. So what exactly, the umpires are right on top of this, and it's just what they decide how much contact there was with Gleeson. No, it's not enough to disallow the goal. So the goal stands.
I'd say it's probably the correct decision. We'll see it here. This is the one. It does kind of make a bit of contact with him, all right, but it's hard to see as well if any one of them was inside the square before the ball was kicked. But anyway, whatever the rights or wrongs of the decision that's been given, I expected more of those type of balls from Armagh. We might see a few more between now and half-time.
That's Armagh's second goal of the league campaign. That was another talking point in the build-up to this, that by this game last year, Armagh had scored 7 goals at the same stage in the league campaign compared to 1 up until that one from Ethan Rafferty. So now let's see. Galway, no score in the 23rd minute. They've Shane Walsh on the field. Sure, they're missing a lot of big stars, but there is lots of attacking talent in that team. And they have...
Again, in front of the goals now, Dara, if you look in, there's no one in there. This is the point that you need to... Patrick Kelly's drifted in there now, but you need bodies in there to suck that Armagh screen back a bit deeper and make space out here for the 1-2s and for the chance to make holes in the Armagh defence.
And no matter how fantastic Shane Walsh is, he's not going to score from these kind of areas. Paul Kelly.
You mentioned about Armagh, the 1 goal there. The thing is, the bodies up tonight, they're kicking the ball and they get a goal. You know, that's part of what makes them good, and which was why it was surprising they had gone away from that for parts of the league.
Galway forced sideways. Again, they've nobody in close. Aidan Falker is the extra defender at the minute. Well, he's actually covering Paul Kelly, who's heading towards the end line. John Daly. There is Paul Kelly. Paul Conroy comes back onto his right side again, but the right left-handed fist pass, Cathal Sweeney. And in close to Ethan Rafferty, the goalkeeper, Johnny Heaney, Cathal Sweeney.
It's great discipline from Armagh. They're pushing at the ball. They're not letting Galway inside that outer ring, and at the same time they're not fouling either. They're not giving them any handy frees in the scoring zone. So it's good discipline.
Rian O'Neill is the only one not involved in this because he's down the other end of the field. Cian Hernan for Galway. First league start. Soupy Campbell comes over and challenges him. Matthew Tierney. Tierney spots a bit of a gap. He struggled with the frees. Galway, the wait for their first score carries on. John Daly. But they're hanging on to the ball well, but they've got to get through this mass Armagh defence. Eamon's commented on the discipline out there, and you think of the hours and hours on the training pitch to get this right. Now Sean Kelly has made, for the first time tonight, that run forward from fullback, and he's taken Rian O'Neill back in there with him, so it's all compressed into the Armagh end of the field. Shane Walsh, if anyone can find a gap. Here's Johnny Heaney, Stephen Campbell. They've had the ball for quite a while, but now it's end product. Hernan to John Marr. Still they move it sideways, just shoveling it from point to point. Johnny Heaney. The wind is tricky, it's pushing against this, and do you know what? He scored a fantastic point. That is brilliant from Johnny Heaney. Just as well for Galway and for Heaney. He decided to take on the shot. After all that possession time, they needed a score.
Yeah, great score, Dara. And eventually, after I don't know how many phases of possession, they pushed the Armagh defensive screen a small bit deeper, and it allowed them to have the shot from outside. They expected Shane Welch to pull the trigger initially. He slipped it on. Great score from Johnny Heaney. They badly needed that.
There's some ugly-looking clouds gathering overhead. The sun's certainly not in the eyes of everybody on the far side of the pitch here at the athletic grounds. It could be a different part of the weather to deal with very shortly. It's got very dark. Rory Grugan. Jason Duffy is the furthest forward. That's where it's gone in towards. But the mark taken by Matthew Tierney. Paul Kelly. No Owen tonight. So Cathal Sweeney, beautiful run in around the back. He's got in, Sweeney, and that is much better from Galway. All of a sudden, Armagh looked open at the back, and Cathal Sweeney from Salthill, Knocknacarra, gets their second point. Yeah,
great score. Ferocious athleticism from both Paul Kelly and from Cathal Sweeney, and a great finish from him in the end. Armagh will be disgusted with the kick inside. You know, with the kicks inside, you have to make sure you're hitting the inside line. Dropping short like that is well intercepted by Matthew Tierney, but super counter-attack. We were commenting on both teams beforehand, Dara, their shape and their physiques. It's incredible, their athleticism. When you're up close and personal and you see them, it's a credit to themselves and to the experts that are guiding them, the shape they're in.
So Ethan Rafferty's goal separates the two teams. What does that signal mean?
Fist up. They're after pulling out and leaving a space at the top of the D, but they have the bodies inside again. They have four inside the 20 metre line. Kieran Mackin is making his way forward again. He seems to be part of these plans as well to make himself awkward inside in that area. Ethan Rafferty's getting into that slot again to see if he can drill one in on top of them, Dara.
You can see, I think Jamar Hall's going to come in. Rafferty didn't get hold of that at all. Stephen Campbell tries to keep it going, but instead it's Paul Kelly of Galway who retrieves the loose ball. Paul Conroy. Shane Walsh nudges the ball forward to Johnny Heaney. Walsh again. Now, how many players will Galway commit forward ahead of where that ball is? Now, there's nobody through the middle, nobody in close to goal at the moment. Walsh still hangs on to it. David Goff saw no foul there, and it's gone for a line ball for Armagh. Now we go for the substitution.
Again, he's not buying fellas going to ground there unless it's a genuine free. I have a feeling it was poor Callum Comiskey that kicked in that ball that was intercepted by Matthew Tierney, Tara. So I wonder, is that why he was hooked, or maybe there's another reason? Seems a bit harsh if it was. He kicked a good score as well.
Can't be one strike and you're out, but anyway. Joe McElroy. We may need the floodlights. They're actually on. They are starting to turn them on now, actually. Certainly down at this end. Here's Jarly O'Byrnes. Past the Sean Kelly challenge. Now Rian O'Neill from way out the field. And that's gorgeous. Really nice point. 1-3 to 2.
Outstanding, and there's a bit of a mix evident there now, Dara. When Rian O'Neill came out, he's been inside a lot for the first half. They managed to get him on us, and he really is a brilliant kicker when he gets into those positions. They're pressed here again now. They're trying to force Galway out long. Galway have done quite well in these kickouts, but we'll see what happens.
Gleeson happy firing that out, and particularly when you have somebody like Matthew Tierney to aim at. Okay, the place balls may not be working out, but he's catching the ball. Greg McCabe and Matthew Tierney both down.
David Goffett his hand up there, Dara. I was wondering when the two lads were inside in the D earlier on and they were caught for the throw-in, if it's an opposing player, because I noticed Rian O'Neill had gone in, he had his hand up. Is it a free out if they don't win possession? He seemed to allow it continue anyway.
Yeah.
Good mark from Matthew Tierney there.
It's raining.
It's a bit of after some Greg McCabe trying
yellow.
to slow it down, all right.
Yeah.
Armagh's approaching that long kick out will be interesting the second half, because they forced Galway out the whole time, but Galway have done very well in those kickouts as well.
John McGrath, Galway, the cornerback. Dylan McHugh. Cathal Sweeney. Johnny Heaney.
Makes sense, all right, for Galway to have Shane Welch a bit further out. Here he is now there, getting on ball further out there rather than inside. He was starved the possession. He was having no impact in the game.
Oh, now Johnny Heaney has gone down. It was a coming together with Aaron McKay. It was just his momentum carried him in on first look into Johnny Heaney. You look at it a second time. Heaney's hurt, there's no question about that.
It was a big contact, all right, and his arm was extended, so he was very open. To be fair, it looked like both of them were going at the ball. We'll see it here. I think Aaron McKay probably expected Johnny Heaney to gather it rather than knocking it ahead like that. You know, his momentum carried the momentum, but like I said, Johnny Heaney's arm was extended, so he's quite a vulnerable position.
Aaron McKay from the Draminty club. So this will be a concern for Pádraig Joyce and Cian O'Neill. That's it again.
I suppose, like, to be fair to the Galway fellas, accidental or not, they can argue the ball wasn't there. So should Johnny Heaney possibly have got a free there? And Johnny Heaney is a critical player to Galway. He's so important to them. He's up. He's a hardy buck as well. It'll take more than that to knock him out.
Yeah, look, I suppose with Aaron McKay, where was he meant to go?
Yeah.
He's moving that way. Yeah. Heaney's moving towards him. So 2 minutes to the break. Rory Grugan. Here we go. It's not going to drop in on the edge of the square. Patrick Kelly was there. Armagh got it with Stephen Campbell. Andrew Murnan. Kieran Mackin. He wants to go, Kieran Mackin. We're right behind that, and that could very well be the score of the night so far. That's gorgeous from Kieran Mackin.
That's brilliant. I really like this guy, Dara. He's such a wholehearted player. He's a brilliant athlete and ferocious competitor, but he has that as well, and he's getting better and better as the league is going on. He missed a bit of action last year with that eye injury he had, but He's playing great football.
It runs in the family.
Sure does.
You can see the strength of the rain. You can also see with the angle, the way it's falling, that give you an indication maybe of that wind that is helping and has helped Armagh in the first half. It's getting a bit awful out there now. Hopefully it's only a shower. John Daly. Shane Walsh, 2 added minutes. Off goes Walsh, tricky angle. Just sent the ball into the area. Oh!
Is that man Kieran Mackin there blocking again? I think Dara Johnny Heaney, lovely little trick pass from Shane Welch inside. And yeah, it was Kieran Mackin that got the block, and Johnny Heaney was willing to take it first time. Be interesting to see, will it be Shane Welch or Matthew Tierney? Yeah, Kieran Mackin did brilliantly again. Shane Welch is coming out to kick this 50-yard right. I'm not surprised by that. It's been brought forward as well. Didn't know you could do that. But
yeah, and even closer in. Maybe Matthew Tierney might be getting. No, he won't get it back now for sure. But Shane Walsh.
Yeah, that'd be a nice one for Matthew Tierney to be kicking, because to be fair to him, he's kicked some tough ones before now.
But been tough, and the wind in his face and blowing across and all that stuff. So
we felt he wouldn't keep Shane Welch off them for long more after the last one.
So Walsh with the close in 45 converts, and that's point number 3.
Good score. His pace, we could see it there when he introduced the pace out in the wing, and he burned past a few players to set up the chance in the first place.
Rory Grugan. Stephen Campbell just kept the ball moving. Very important block in there. May well have been Cathal Sweeney, but it was a really important touch, because Galway could have been exposed in behind. Now it's Matthew Tierney. There's Sweeney involved again. Paul Kelly. Time for one last attack. Free on the 45. Dylan McHugh as the player ends up on the ground. Kieran Mackin not impressed with the decision.
Yeah, it was. He caught him all right, and Dylan McHugh was clever enough that he just leaned back into the contact. Great view for us here now, Dara, of Shane Welch striking this. I imagine he'll have a go at it. Long kick into that breeze. Paul Conroy's looking for it.
Yeah, because he can kick them from silly distances as well, but not this time.
I think Shane Welch is saying, I'm back, lads. Leave me at it.
And after the big build-up, they're going to play the ball backwards. But look, Dylan McHugh.
I think if he was aware of the clock, he might have had a go at it. But here
well, we're so close to him. I'm surprised he didn't hear us. Here's Shane Walsh. It's a brilliant commentary position here. You're in the game. So the 2 minutes are gone now, and they need to get the shot away to Galway. John Maher, the referee, will let this develop on for a few more seconds. Matthew Tierney, no, he won't. They couldn't get the shot away, so they waste that attack. But it certainly held the attention. The conditions the last few minutes of the first half, not easy. Armagh played with the wind. Rafferty's goal, a massive moment in the game, but a fascinating second half to come. At the break, Armagh lead Galway by 1-4-3.
At 3, we're all about giving you more value more often. So, when you pick up one of our amazing €3 smartphones, like the Samsung Galaxy S22, you also get tons of everyday discounts with our rewards program 3+, and all on Ireland's fastest mobile network. 3, for a better connected life.
Girl, look.
What?
It's a long dog.
Stretch your payments with Klarna. That's smooth.
Pay now, later, or over time. Klarna, smooth shopping.
It's a beautiful
Belvita, positive energy starts here.
Have a break, have a Kit Kat.
Hiya. Americano, please. Your house blend. Splash of oat milk.
Are you going to do this every time?
Nescafe Azura Americano.
So you're paying contactless or?
Irresistibly smooth barista-style coffee at home.
Armagh are in the driving seat at home here against Galway. A huge crowd. And Ethan Rafferty launched this missile into the Galway full back line. Nobody there to meet it. Conor Gleeson ball sailed past him. And that is the key score. The crucial difference between the sides at half-time. Armagh lead 1-4 to Galway's 3 points. And a healthy spread of scores on the Armagh side there as well. Galway depending on the three lads for their 3 points as well. Kieran and Enda, I just wonder, I'm looking at two teams here out there, out in the field. They're almost a mirror image of each other. We hear about the modern game. Is this game the epitome of the modern coaching style? And can you explain to me why or how so?
Yeah, it's probably a very good example, Damien, of it, in that you have two teams that have very solid kind of defensive structures, and they try then and build their offensive game over when they turn over the ball or when they over kick-outs and try and move them forward. So you've got an Armagh team that we know is very solid defensively. They will push up at times, you know, but they will. It's really about how quick the teams can move up and down the pitch. I don't want to compare it to like soccer, but in some ways it is, because it's that transition and how quickly you can get your 12, 13 players up the pitch to support attack, and how quickly you can get it back. And they're setting up very similar, but Armagh are probably slightly different in that they.
On a wee lottery or against good players that are able to get wee touches on it, it can go anywhere. But if you get the name for not coping with it, then you're going to be dealing with it a lot more, and that's what Galway are going to be facing.
You made a point in the half-time analysis, Kieran. Armagh are getting the bodies up quicker. Do Galway necessarily do the same thing, or do you want the likes of Conroy and Walsh dropping back out to shooting positions in the pocket?
Yeah, well, they'll have the win this half, so they'll have the opportunity for long-range points. They struggled, but it was that's why I think they have to kind of go at them a lot more. And I think they lacked, Enda touched on it, they lacked Sean Kelly, like particularly in the Monaghan game. He can be that +1 coming through and create overlaps. He's been pinned back by Rian O'Neill and kept back the whole game. So they need to. They look a little bit heavy-legged in their transition, and they just weren't getting bodies on the shoulder. Like, might improve in the second half.
Ian Burke's not in today. Maybe he's picked up a knock. Rob Finnerty was on the bench. So whenever Shane Walsh drifts out, they completely lose shape. They've no depth at all then on that inside place. So they do need to try and look that if Walsh is coming out round, that they maintain a depth to their attack, that they have at least one or two men.
And can you understand why Walsh would come out? Because there's an Armagh wall of steel in that.
Well, they're double teaming him. They're double teaming him. They're doing exactly what they've done to David Clifford. Do you know what I mean? They have, and Shane Walsh. He doesn't look at the level that you'd expect him to. He's had a bit of a break, and coming up here, Armagh
it sounds
on a
bad.
cold evening.
It sounds bad
up the street,
and it's not because he's coming home from Australia. But you always looked at Shane Walsh. Plays with a smile on the face. He looks like a summer footballer. This is not a particularly lovely summer football game here. So
why'd you say that, Edna?
Well, I'm sure he will have an impact in this half, but Galway just need, if he's coming out round, which I think is absolutely valid because it helps move the Armagh defence as well, they need to be moving other players in.
Okay, well, let's go back to the gantry and rejoin our match commentary team of Eamon and Dara.
Damien, thanks a lot. Galway, as you saw, were out first. Rob Finnerty is out there for the second half. We saw him suffer what we thought was a bad injury in Castlebar on the first night of the league, and thankfully he has recovered and is back in the Galway jersey and in the team wearing number 25. Armagh, from what we can see, have made no changes for the start of the second half, so whatever wind is out there, it's helping Galway. Now here's Cian Hernan, John Marr, John Daly.
Rob Finnerty will be another body closer to goals now as well, Dara, so it's a dodgy pass.
That was risky, asked a lot of Dylan McHugh, and then Paul Kelly is surrounded and turned over ultimately. Fouled the ball. Armagh have got Stephen Sheridan in. He's wearing number 24. Joe McElroy has gone off, so it's good to see Stephen Sheridan back playing for Armagh as well. I wonder will we see Aidan Nugent too before the evening's over. Charlie O'Burns, Jason Duffy back with Burns. Jamar Hall came on close to half-time. Stephen Campbell. Ethan Rafferty, you will have seen him having a chat with Kieran Donaghy. Rafferty's in trouble. Well, he has taken a lot of, seems like half the Galway team with him, and he's still going and did really well. And Rafferty wants it. He's got his goal already. Will he add a point to it from open play? Stephen Campbell, Charlie O'Burns. Rafferty heads back down the field.
Yeah, he's excellent on the ball. Even when it broke away from him there, he still had the awareness to jab it out to the side. So, fairness of all goalies, he is the fella you'd have most confidence out the field.
I see Joe McElroy still there, so it's not McElroy who's gone off. We'll confirm that in due course. Here is Rory Grugan on the right boot. Rory, and Gleeson stayed on his line. And Cian Hernan had to be careful with the handling, but did he touch that on the ground? I think as he fell, the ball made contact with the ground.
Yeah, a harsh enough one, but I'd say probably on the money. He slipped here as he gathered possession. He just slipped, and yeah, it did. In fairness, he was lucky he wasn't inside in a small square.
It's all small margins, isn't it? So this is a gift for Rory Grugan. And Grugan slots it over.
They're pressed again here now, Dara, so we'll see probably force Galway out long.
Stephen Sheridan has replaced Tiernan Kelly. 1-5-3. So Armagh unbeaten here this year. Now even you go back to the Donegal match, Donegal did push them. They have, in some of their other games, kind of, you're not going to dominate all the way through, but they've lost the momentum when they had it and put pressure on themselves, so that's gone against them. There is Joe McElroy still on the field for Armagh.
They did well, yeah, to get that one. I think Conor Gleeson was trying to hit the overload in front of the stand, but screwed back into the middle, and they still managed to salvage possession.
Paul Kelly. Shane Walsh. Still has the ball. Jamar Hall won't give up. Sean Kelly, the Galway captain. Here's Rob Finnerty. So Sean Kelly has taken up a position. The fullback is in it full forward. And then there's a collision with Aaron McKay, the Armagh fullback. He's gone down injured. That was the collision with Sean Kelly.
The umpires were on the radio as well, Dara. They were on the radio straight away, so if there was something there, they spotted it.
John Daly it was who put that wide, but we need treatment for McKay, and you are going to see what happened here.
I think it was Sean Kelly that was furthest forward, so we'll see if there's a replay of it. But like I said, the umpire on the right-hand post as we were looking in, he was on the radio to David Goff straight away, so if something happened that was spotted, looks to be going for his book, all right. He's calling for Galway 3. Sean Kelly's probably gone to the other end of the field this evening.
I'm just trying to
He's gone about as far away as he could go.
So the linesman is on the way back in and tell him to head back down. David Goff isn't moving, and Sean Kelly is going to get a yellow card. So he's there now. Well, actually, is it going to be a yellow for Aaron McKay as well? Is it for both of them? And that's why there was the delay. Yeah, yellow apiece. And that's why he didn't just show Sean Kelly the yellow card the minute he arrived.
If you were Rafferty now, you'd be bombing this down on top of Rian O'Neill, because Sean Kelly's had to sprint up and down the field how many times there? 3 or 4 times.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have a replay of that, but I did see it, and a yellow for each of them is probably fair enough. Andrew Murnan, that's a lovely ball in. Touch from Grug and Jason Duffy there. And we're going to go back for a free in for Armagh. The referee was obviously playing an advantage, or he spotted something off the ball. Are we getting a bit niggly?
Yeah, it is getting a bit niggly, all right. Conditions probably since that shower deteriorated a bit as well and made it a small bit harder handling-wise. Jamar Hall is totally free here if he's hits for the ball.
Well, Ryan is looking the other way. You can be sure he spotted him. Stephen Campbell. Johnny Heaney in front of him. Campbell goes, look at the injection of pace. Lightning fast. The handling error, though, means the move breaks down, and John Marr is there for Galway.
A brilliant injection of pace by Stephen Campbell, but the hand pass then was to Rory Grugan's feet, and you know, a night like tonight, or any night, you need to be getting those hand passes on the money to make sure that you're making it easy for the receiver. Value of pace being in the move, though, was shown there again, and in fairness to Shane Welch, a couple of times he's got on the ball, he's really sprinted with the ball as well, and he's caused problems rather than the kind of slow, lackadaisical stuff.
Keane Hernan. Rob Finnerty's gone in at full forward. Aidan Forker is marking him and looking directly at Finnerty, not bothered about the ball. He's got his back to the ball at the moment, or had. Shane Walsh. Popped in for John Marr. Again, that orange wall in front of him.
Rian O'Neill now is almost playing as a sweeper, a very deep-lying sweeper altogether.
Johnny Heaney, good hands from him. Shoots off his left. That's a beautiful score from Johnny Heaney. Great handling in there. I don't know how he managed to control the ball. Wait to see all the Armagh players around him.
Yeah, it was brave, and the way he won it, and then kicked his second point off his left, it was excellent. Rian O'Neill was gone. Whether it's a tactical thing or he was following Sean Kelly, he was sitting very deep altogether there. There's a sub coming here now again.
So that's Tom O'Culhan, another Salthill Knocknacarra player, wearing number 26. Paul Kelly gone off.
Yeah, I spotted Padraig Joyce talking to Tom O'Culhan when he came out after half time there. He was having a good word with him, so you knew that he was going to be getting time, and he's a finisher, and he's a good man to get a goal.
Great catch from Andrew Murnan. They say he's been Armagh's best forward, and they're not often wrong. Here's Stephen Sheridan, couldn't get hold of that, and it was a tricky one in the end for Conor Gleeson. Had to get down on his knees to hold on to that.
It's the joys of coaching, Dara. That was straight off the training ground, and it was executed perfectly up until the finish from Stephen Sheridan, but he's just back, so we'll have to give him a bit of leeway in terms of he's a small bit rusty, but excellent from Andrew Murnan again. He's such a brilliant kick-out option, and a good kick-out from Rafferty as well.
Dylan McHugh. Galway up at 13 turnovers to Armagh's 10. They've both had 16 attacks. That Rafferty goal, a huge moment in the match.
Galway are really struggling to break Armagh down. They're very intent and disciplined at the back, and Galway are struggling with it.
Ethan Rafferty. Greg McCabe has a yellow card against him. Charlie O'Burns is down in front of us. Aidan Forker has made a clever run into the centre. There he is. Stephen Campbell. Stephen Sheridan. They'll probably try the other side now. Kieran Mackin is over on the far side there, just on the Galway 45-metre line, being picked up by Johnny Heaney. Aidan Forker. They've plenty forward, Armagh. Well, Eamon, you'll love this. They've got 4 in the full forward line now.
Yeah, they have that set offence again, so they're looking to try and get the ball now to the proper area to look to put it in there, and fairness to the players that are inside there, they're buzzing out looking for ball. There's a lot of space in the D area of the pitch now, but Galway are getting bodies back in there. They haven't quite got it far enough yet to kick it in.
Galway are set up well, it seems, for this. Rory Grugan has gone out wide. Sean Kelly has gone with him. They've two in close to Conor Gleeson, the goalkeeper, do Armagh. Charlie O'Burns, Jamar Hall, Grugan, Ethan Rafferty. Andrew Murnan darts out from in close to goal. Aidan Falker, they still don't want to kick it in. Should have done this earlier on, but you always get a great welcome at the athletic grounds. I met the dad of Emma Haughey. It's his birthday during the week. Emma is from Armagh and watching the match today in Vancouver. Haven't a clue what time it is there, but anyway, it's 1-5-4 here in the 47th minute. Armagh holding onto the ball for quite a while. Galway sitting back. Aidan Falker just overdid that. They've managed to keep it in play. Well done. Stephen Campbell. It's an Armagh line ball. I thought that's all of the ball over all of the line stuff, but actually it's a Galway line ball. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think it had crossed the line, but Margaret Farley's closer to it.
Conor Turbot has been starting and also making a big impression off the bench. Greg McCabe, one of those Armagh players on a yellow card, has gone off. Sean Kelly. Kelly again. Joe McElroy couldn't stop his progress. Here's Cathal Sweeney, referee playing an advantage. Oh, that's a brilliant take in there, right down low on the ground by Tom O'Culhan.
Yeah, excellent.
Could have gone back for the free, but that was outstanding.
Excellent from Cathal Sweeney as well, coming on to the play. And I know he's wearing 15. He hasn't played in the forwards in this league, but he's more comfortable as a half-back coming onto ball, and he put a great ball inside to Tom O'Culhan. He won it, and I expect Tomo to chip this over the bar now. But I'm surprised teams don't do it more often, Dara, that they take advantage of the mark, especially when the play is slow. I know that was a rapid attack there, and accurate delivery from Cathal Sweeney, in fairness to him.
Culhan has been out for a while with injury, but a very effective forward.
Good score.
Goal between them.
Galway pressed up now as well, so we're getting that at both sides. Andrew Murnan has won both of the last kickouts. Galway doubling up on him. He's been picked by Cian Hernan, who's played midfield in the past for the Galway under-20s, and John Daly, so it's a little chip out on, yeah.
That's really nice from Rafferty. Charlie O'Burns. 2013 was the last time Armagh beat Galway in the league, and Galway are their bogey team in the championship, never beaten them in 4 attempts. Matthew Tierney, ball turned over. Here's Paul Conroy. Now Armagh have committed players forward. They need to get back quickly. It's all about how quickly can Galway attack. Shane Walsh, outstanding. McElroy almost ended up at the sideline, sliding along the ground. Sean Kelly, Paul Conroy, they're flinging the ball around. Finnerty took a big contact, managed to hold on to the ball. Super football from Galway, all about the end product. Paul Conroy, right boot, and that is stunning from Paul Conroy. What a fantastic point. They deserved a score, moved the ball quickly. It was all precise, all accurate. They've scored 3 in a row.
Yeah, outstanding. What a kick from Paul Conroy, and we appreciate that he has that, but it was actually the strength in possession of 2 of the players, Matthew Tierney first of all, and then Robert Finnerty, who took a huge belt, and he still managed to hold on to the ball, and led to Conroy kicking it over the bar. But those lads have won that under-20 All-Ireland a couple of years ago. They're showing that they're well capable of living at the higher level now, and great strength from them there. Wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Campbell was booked here. Either maybe David Goff has forgotten about it, but there was kind of a late tackle earlier in the move, but he seems to be letting it off.
So Aaron McKay,
he's in the wars big time.
Yeah, I wonder, is there an issue over concussion with him? The doctor, and as you can see, the charted physio there.
The last kick out from Armagh as well, Dara, again, it just shows Ethan Rafferty and the level he's at now. They had gone long to Andrew Murnan for a couple. He had won them, obviously they preferred to do that. Galway had cheated back in Andrew Murnan then, so they were clever enough to look for the short one, and he delivered the short one. So when you have a player who's, in such an important position, making decisions and the right decisions like that the whole time and then executing it, it's a great thing to have. Aaron McKay looked like he's...
I know, yeah, well, look, that's the sensible thing. If it is a concussion, fear and worry an issue, and Aaron does not look at all happy. This is what happened here, and he actually collided with his own man. He collided with Joe McElroy. And
he kind of his elbow, it looked like,
all day long, that's the right thing to do.
He's a loss to them because he's been very good in that sweeping role.
So there's some frantic activity over on the Armagh bench to get a sub on. Ross McQuillan.
Ross is more comfortable out the field, but I'm sure they'll rejig.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Aidan Falker in there. You can see all the Kierans. Kieran McKeever's there with Kieran Donaghy and Kieran McGeeney. So they are going to shuffle things around a bit. Is it Kieran Mackin who's going to go in and play in that central role? We'll see. But Galway have got 3 points in a row. They've outscored Armagh by 3 points to 1 since the match restarted. And actually, when you think of it, that the only Armagh point in the second half was that Rory Grugan free from right in front of the post. The wind is still there. I don't think it's as strong as it was at times in the first half, helping Armagh. Stephen Sheridan. Kieran Mackin. His point in the first half was brill. Here's Rory Grugan. Matthew Tierney leaves him in his wake. Joe McElroy. Big roar about the place. Ross McQuillan. Turbot involved. Aidan Forker. Jamar Hall. Kieran Mackin is screaming for it here, but Andrew Murnan is back to him at the moment. Rian O'Neill drilled that in, and Jason Duffy did his best with it, but it was always going wide.
I was surprised in the move as well. They didn't keep the ball coming this direction over to Kieran Mackin, but they went the other way and they got one of their key shooters on the ball. It wasn't Rian O'Neill's best shot.
So Conor Gleeson hasn't had too many of these in the second half. As he come back at him.
Yeah, he was bombing him out before the game, well beyond the halfway line. He was trying to hit Matthew Tierney with that one, but screwed off the outside of the boot.
Kieran Mackin from Shane O'Neill's club. That's Keane Hernan, couldn't hang on to it. Jamar Hall down on the ground, breaks down. Matthew Tierney has inadvertently conceded possession. That was brilliant thinking from Ross McQuillan. Jamar Hall. Stephen Campbell.
Quality might be gone out of it, Dara, but there's a serious edge to some.
Oh, well done, Ethan Rafferty. I know he's been caught before and stuff like that, but it's such a different dimension. It's such an exciting dimension that he brings. There is that risk element, and maybe that's part of the excitement bit.
Yeah, and he's just brilliant on the ball. His skill set is the skill set of an outfielder.
Jarly Oak Burns, Shane Walsh was back there helping out. Cathal Sweeney, that's a free out. It's a free to Galway. They were so careful not to give away a free, not to foul, and David Goff has picked up most things in this game tonight.
Yeah, he probably came in a small bit over the shoulder, all right. Jarly O got one of those against Donegal a couple of weeks ago, so I suppose you're not going to get him every time. The game is this evening's kind of physical, and those kind of things are being left go.
So Galway free, and Stephen Sheridan is going to be spoken to by the referee.
Get him with a punch into the side, all right, I'd say.
So a yellow card for Stephen.
Well, it was an open hand. It looked to be going at the ball, all right. It's like both teams now, with whatever 15 plus minutes to go, 15, 16, 17, depending what's added on. It's there for one of the teams to grab hold of and really go at it now in the final quarter and try and finish it off and earn those 2 points.
Armagh begin their Ulster Championship campaign in 3 weeks' time. Galway have a bit further to wait, a bit longer to wait. Here comes Kieran Mackin as Galway are caught. Ball turned over. Galway have got players back in position. Armagh, a wave of orange joining them. Here is Stephen Campbell. This would be a big score in the game, and Campbell has put it wide. He's put it wide.
Yeah, it was a brilliant counter-attack. I was surprised Stephen didn't slip it to Rian O'Neill, who was just standing beside him all on his own. In fairness, it was only barely wide, and Stephen Campbell is a good shooter as well, but Armagh will be disappointed with that. Brilliant from Kieran Mackin again, ferociously athletic, and in fairness to John Maher, he chased back after him and he put a bit of pressure on him because Kieran Mackin was gone only for that. And I know that John Maher's name has been name checked a couple of times by Padraig Joyce during the course of this league because of his athleticism and his willingness to work for the team.
A slight delay. David Goff had trouble with the radio system keeping him in touch with all of his officials. That was a free kick out for Cian Hernan. Here's Sean Kelly. Armagh with just 1 point, a free to show for their efforts in the second half, and that is Shane Walsh, and that's from way downtown, and that is wide.
Yeah, big pressure on the kick. Great kick out from Conor Gleeson in the first place, and to open up the chance from Shane Welch, but there was good pressure from Barry McCambridge again. Another sub coming here there.
Armagh bring Niall Grimley in, and again Niall, another big player who has had his injury issues. I suppose if they can time it, that they get nearly everybody back fit and available for the start of the Ulster Championship. Well, then is the player gone off again? Another on a yellow card. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Yeah, I think so. Be a factor, all right.
Ball breaks loose. Ross McQuillan is after it. This fella's a serious talent. Here's Rian O'Neill. Speaking of serious talents, and Jason Duffy involved. Duffy goes in around the back. Duffy with the fist, and Duffy has put it wide. They've missed again. That goal is certainly not the scoring goal tonight.
The local support feel that he should have got it free. Ross McQuillan was off his shoulder. I think Dara, if he'd looked to slip it, maybe he couldn't with the heat that was on him.
And Sweeney,
bit of a late tackle from Sweeney as well. Maybe that's why they're looking for the free, particularly the late hit, I suppose, to be fair to Jason Duffy. He saw Ross McQuillan all right, and his pace supporting there. I think that when he did that combine for the Aussie rules, I think he did 2.77 seconds for 20 metres, so that shows how quick he was. I'd say even on my best day, Dara, to be double that, I'd say.
I have no comment to make at this stage. So apart from the fact that Jason Duffy is winded, and I think we'll be all right to continue.
He's calling in Cathal Sweeney as well. He's the book out in there. No,
it's okay, yeah. So just as you watch, look at everybody. The forwards, Armagh forwards, Galway backs all bunched together. So
punch and break, and the Armagh forwards are marking it zonally from the outside. So we'll see how this plays out. Probably end up flaking it out long with it, you know.
Ooh. So that was tight.
Very tight.
Dylan McHugh, Sean Kelly.
Fairness, good work there. Margaret Farley was on the radio straight away to David Goff to say that it had gone outside the 20, so good to see the officials working together like that.
Thank God the radio was fixed. Remember we mentioned that, so
yeah, true.
They were able to.
Yeah, he acknowledged her to say that he got it, so yeah, it's good. Good to see that.
Inside the last 10 minutes. It's funny, I know the first half was low scoring. We've only had 4 points in the second half, but you just cannot take your eyes off this. It is gripping stuff. There's a lot of tension. There's a bit of an edge to it as well. Cathal Sweeney. Cian Hernan, one of the newer breed, and well, Galway, you look at the likes of John McGrath playing, Sean Fitzgerald, you think of the players who are missing, the McDade's of this world and Comer and others. They are building depth in their squad, which is one of the aims they would have had, having finished last year. There's Keane Hernan, and he certainly has not looked out of place at this level at all.
Not at all, yeah.
Rob Finnerty, who belongs at this level, and that is Paul Conroy, and this is a free.
Yeah, very, very good from Galway. You mentioned Keane Hernan there. He's done very well for his first day out there, and as we said already, he played midfield in that under-20 victory a couple of years ago, and you can see he's quite comfortable on the ball, and he's good in the ball, as most Galway footballers are, to be fair. And well won by Paul Conroy there. Shane Welch, you'd expect him to tip this over and get it back to a 1-point game.
With 8 minutes to go. He didn't score in Monaghan last week, but he was playing much further out the field. And Shane Walsh kicks that one right between the posts. So just 1 point separates these two teams. It was tight at the All-Ireland quarter-final, ridiculously tight, and this is the same.
That kick-out set up again that Kieran was talking about beforehand there, where they're everyone outside the 45 and they have that space to break into if they win it. Ethan Rafferty doesn't seem to be 100% sure where his options are at the moment.
Both hands up in the air, and it goes pretty much right down the middle. Murnan soaring after it. Kieran Mackett, big possession this for Armagh, and he was fouled.
He's been brilliant.
Yeah, outstanding performance tonight. So Rian O'Neill with the ball tucked under his left arm. Rory Grugan. They've scored just once in the second half. Grugan with Paul Conroy there behind him. Sean Kelly, Kieran Mackin, Rian O'Neill. Now Rob Finnerty not going to give up on that. Ball squirts loose with Aidan Falker, and it's a free into Armagh, much to the dismay of the Galway dugout, who, well, that all happened right in front of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have a look at it here. Did he give it for... It's tough to see what the free was for there, really, to be honest there. And Armagh nearly got cut out at the back, but
they did.
Here goes Ethan Rafferty
on his way.
Certainly a big thing for Galway going forward in the championship is again Rob Finnerty. In that contact he was very strong, so he's definitely stronger than he was last year.
Aidan Falker was about to shoot. Shane Walsh was back there with him. Jamar Hall and Charlie O'Byrne is screaming for the ball out the field. Hall deciding to go himself, and that's Ross McQuillan Albury tight over there. Johnny Heaney, Dylan McHugh, and that's a Galway ball.
Yeah, correct decision, I think. Armagh, one of the things that they'll be looking to work on for the next couple of weeks going into championship is those simple little skill executions. It's let them down the final third a bit this evening, which is just surprising really for them.
So the short kick out, as you can see, well, it secures possession for Galway, but they've got to pick their way and move their way up the field. A bit more distance on that from Conroy to Shane Walsh. Walsh takes Barry McCambridge with him, and then just delivers the ball to Tomo Culhan. It's gone out of play though.
Great tackling again from Armagh. Sub coming is there.
Yeah. Armagh substitution.
Aidan Nugent with a new haircut.
And well, it's his first time to play this year.
Rian O'Neill gone off. That doesn't happen too often.
No, for sure, yeah. It certainly doesn't.
Aidan Nugent is good, very good in the ball, good decision maker and a leader as well. So I'm sure the Armagh boys are delighted to see him back.
So just over 4 minutes, and that is risky. Soupy Campbell put pressure on Sean Fitzgerald, but the Barna man held firm. John McGrath for Galway. Keane Hernan. Hernan dance his way through. That's John McGrath, who was last to touch that, heading for the corner. Aidan Falker almost trying to choke tackle him. He held onto the ball too long. Free out Armagh. It hasn't felt like this for a while, but you know, Armagh are still leading the game, even though Galway have outscored them 4-1 in the second half. Armagh had a fair few opportunities in the second half, but only managed 1 point from a free. Jamar Hall. Sean Kelly stands in front of him. Kieran Mackin. Eamon will be talking about man of the match soon. That fella's going to be in the picture, you would imagine. And Mackin goes down, and that is Cian Hernan, who was just pleading his innocence to the crowd in front of us as much as anything else. But we're playing on is Matthew Tierney. Galway are a point down. Tierney can go left or right or go himself, taking a lot out of it. Tierney for Galway. Tierney travelled. No, he was held onto it too long. That will not count. He held onto it too long. He was caught, and it appeared, well, never mind 2 minds, but maybe 3. Kieran Mackin is still down injured. Tierney could have moved it to Rob Finnerty to his right, who was unmarked.
Yeah, Margaret Farrelly was on the radio straight away to David Goff, but the play developed and he let it develop, so he's going back for it now. I didn't see what happened myself.
Well, that was it there, the Cian Hernan challenge with Kieran Mackin, so they're going to go back.
It's probably yellow, is it?
Yellow
there?
for him. Yellow, yeah. For a minute I thought red. I was thinking, where does he keep the yellow card? But anyway, it's in his right pocket. This is it.
It's probably a black card. It was, you know, it was a body check off the ball, stopping a run.
So Armagh still lead by a point with just over 2 minutes to go. Little
Daniel O'Flaherty's
shake
on
of
now
apology.
as well. And again, another explosive player to bring on near the end of the game. If he gets ball in open ground, sticking on to Charlie O'Byrne, so he's been given a specific job there, obviously.
Daniel O'Flaherty's had a big league campaign. One Salthill knocked the Cara player for another. John Marr was the one making way, so 2 versus 1 not going to work. That was touched on the ground. They turned it over anyway, a combination of Conroy and Daly.
Brilliant play from Conroy and Daly.
Galway would take a point, I'm sure, if you offered it to them now. I know they're only 1 behind. That's Rob Finnerty, and that is some pass out to Tom O'Culhan. He's claimed the mark, and this is a really tough kick, but he's a quality forward, and this is to equalise.
Brilliant turnover, clever play, Rob Finnerty to drill a good ball in to give Tom O'Culhan a chance to win the mark. Again, I expect him to get this.
And Culhan has done just that. That was a big pressure moment. Galway are level, 5 points without reply in the second half with a minute to go.
Serious stuff from Galway in the second half there. A great response from them, and they're really going at it now. So good test of Ethan Rafferty's mettle here again. His option over in front of the stand, Grimley.
Really good mark. Outstanding mark taken by Niall Grimley. We know he'll catch ball all day long. Here's Soupy Campbell. Andrew Murnan. They've gone out of it in the second half. They've had lots of possession, but just haven't been able to trouble the umpires. Jamar Hall, Soupy Campbell, heading into added time at the end of this game. Jamar Hall again. Kieran Mackin. Jamar Hall goes sideways, backwards. Here's Rory Grugan. Aidan Nugent has taken up a good position, the Armagh joint captain, and there's Cian Hernan putting the ball out for a 45, and there'll be a chance to go in front here as we head into injury time at the end of the match.
Excellent from Cian Hernan again.
So now, this is a long way out. Cian Hernan gone off.
Frian O'Neill was still on the field. I wonder we'd be having a pop at this. I'm surprised maybe even Ethan Rafferty hasn't had a go at it.
Yeah, just going to say that. So, like, Aidan Falker can kick the ball a long way. That's Billy Mannion, by the way. He's in for Galway. 6 minutes. This could go either way. Falker sends it in low, and the shot from McQuillan. There was a touch on that which took the sting out of it, I think. Certainly he didn't make clean contact with it. And here come Galway. Armagh's only point, a free in the 3rd minute of the second half. Their only point of the second half. Here's Johnny Heaney. Heaney hits the deck. That's Kieran Mackin there with it. 1 minute of the 6 gone. Dylan McHugh, Paul Conroy, Billy Mannion for Galway. Matthew Tierney looking for it in the corner. John McGrath. Shane Walsh just nudges the ball out to Dylan McHugh. John McGrath. Galway have players in wide positions, nobody in a central position close to the Armagh goal.
Again, it's these scenarios we talk about, Dara, for both teams. Level game, injury time, team in possession. Can they open a shot? Here we go.
Shane Walsh shot on its way. Rafferty goes for it, and Tierney has got his goal. Tierney has got his goal. Ethan Rafferty was caught. A bit like Conor Gleeson's mistake in the first half down at that end. Matthew Tierney has plugged away and he's got his goal, and Galway lead by 3.
Yeah, we always say those shots for scores that drop short, they're so dangerous. Matthew Tierney read it brilliantly. He came in, Charlie O'Byrne's lost it when it was in the air, and he read it brilliantly. And Ethan Rafferty tried to attack the ball. He was unaware maybe that Matthew Tierney was coming in behind him, and Tierney did brilliantly. Great goal for Galway. Can Armagh respond now?
Well, there were big celebrations from the Galway supporters who made the journey to Armagh. Armagh really need to get moving now. There'll be a lot of questions to be posed and answered about their performance in the second half. There's Jason Duffy, and he's dropped that one short right into the arms of Conor Gleeson.
They only got 1 point in the second half there, is
from a free, yeah. A Grugan free. Do you remember on the 20-metre line, or maybe closer in?
That won't get it done.
It will not get it done, and Galway are getting it done. We'll talk about player of the match very shortly, Eamon. Just as we follow this attack, we'll let the ball go dead and you can tell us who you've selected.
No problem.
So, Shane Walsh, Daniel O'Flaherty to Walsh again, and off he goes. Stephen Campbell there with him.
Stephen Campbell matched him well there.
Galway's only defeat in the campaign, it was the game against Roscommon. That was the day Damien Comer got injured. Good defending back in there from Joe McElroy. Duffy gets rid of it. They need to get it down the other end of the field. Grimley was involved. Just over 2 minutes to go. Aidan Nugent. What sort of a plan have they got to get a goal? Billy Mannion ended up on the ground. Charlie O'Byrne could be the man to open them up. Conor Turbot in behind him. Aidan Nugent. Nugent turns back around, takes on the shot, and Nugent's effort has gone between the posts just about. So that is their first score in the match since the 3rd minute of the second half.
Yeah, they're still alive, and in that quarter-final last year they had to come back from the dead a couple of times, so they're not going to give up.
Just at this point, Eamon, do you want to tell us who you've picked as your man of the match?
From the Galway side, who are leading at the moment, obviously Johnny Heaney was outstanding. Matthew Tierney had a big impact there with that goal at the end. But the player that I've gone for, who impressed all the way through, has been Kieran Mackin. I thought he was outstanding at right half-back and up and down the field for Armagh.
So just over a minute, and Galway, the ball has been turned over. Rory Grugan. It's a goal or nothing for Armagh. They need a goal. Gleeson was out. Could go absolutely anywhere. The ball squirting around all over the place. Galway get rid of it. They're able to hold out. Last gasp defending, last ditch defending. It doesn't matter what way you describe it. There's a couple of players down injured. In close to Conor Gleeson's goal. But that was the moment. Galway held firm. Armagh could not get through. They ran straight at Galway.
There was a pass across there. I'm nearly sure there was a pass across. It was Charlie Ogue that was there. He went for the shot. Great save from Conor Gleeson, but they're the balls that you probably have to square. There was
Aidan
Parker was certainly there, and I think there was someone else again further over again. We might see it here. Great save from Conor Gleeson and John Daly. Both of them brilliant defending, and as well then at the end, John McGrath that's the kind of spirit of defending you need at that stage of a game, and it almost had a look of history repeating itself again from last summer. But brilliant from John Daly. He seems to have grown in confidence from last year's displays and his all-star and everything else. He really is fantastic centre-back now. Brilliant centre-back play to be sniffing out the danger there at the end of the game.
So there's a card in there
Nugent
for
came in, yeah. And
Aidan Nugent, yes.
It's a hot ball as a result, which was silly from Aidan Nugent, especially when he's the joint captain.
So the 6 minutes been and gone. There's still more treatment, but regardless of what happens from this point, Eamon, we mentioned, all the players who Galway, they came here with so much quality, but building the squad depth. But the players that, Peter Cook sent off last week, we mentioned about Killian McDade,
Damien Comer, Owen Kelly, Jack Glynn, Ian Burke, and SOS
Malloy and Silkar Bob,
New Zealand, and Kieran Malloy obviously is out long term, but making good progress after his operation apparently. So Galway are in rude health, and fairness to them, and this is a huge win for them tonight, particularly after the first half. Outstanding second half display from them. They've shown a lot of grit.
And then the other side for Armagh, there will be a mention about those, I suppose, the questions to be posed and answered after, half-time 1-4-3. They were in very good shape at the break.
They were, and they'll be disappointed. In the final third, they made a lot of bad decisions in the second half there. That chance at the end, there was a couple of other bad hand passes where it was the last pass, and their approach changed a bit in the second half. They weren't as gung-ho maybe as they were in the first half. Wind was possibly a factor in that. They still have players to come back. They still have the likes of Ben Creeley, James Morgan to add in, Oisin O'Neill. I think I mentioned it already. I think Ben Creeley's a huge miss for them at the moment, and he's a significant player for them. John Daly looks like he's having to be replaced, so they'll be hoping that's nothing too serious. He dived in, and credit to Conor Gleeson as well, Dara, because he does ship a bit of criticism, especially the type of goal he conceded in the first half. That was an outstanding save there. His time with Athlone Town and Galway United, he stood up big, and he smothered the shot well, obviously ably assisted by John Daly.
So Ryan Monaghan has come on from Oughterard wearing number 19 for Galway. So look, forget about the 6 minutes. I don't know where we are in terms of the time, what extra, there might be another minute or so that the referee will add on. Time for Armagh to have one more attack with Rory Grugan and Shane Walsh. Now what way is this? A Galway ball? It's a Galway ball, a line ball I think, but David Goff, the referee, had no doubt in his mind, and this is developing into a significant night for Pádraig Joyce's Galway. There were, I suppose after the All-Ireland final, all the great football they played, the win over Armagh, the win over Derry, pushing Kerry so close, that would they be able to bounce back from that? Would they be able to build on it? And certainly they're building depth in their squad, so we're heading...
He wasn't trying a crossfield one there like last summer. Pádraig Joyce was telling him rooted up the field, but gives possession back to Armagh. They'll have one last chance.
Anyone's guess where we are in terms of time. This probably will be the last attack. Is there another chance for Armagh? Ball squirts loose again. Gleeson goes down. It's put wide. It's gone out wide. That's the end. It's over. And Galway, the celebrations begin. This feels like a big win for them. Certainly John Dibley and Pádraig Joyce and Sean Kelly and Johnny Heaney and others are pumped after it. They've come to Armagh. They've taken their unbeaten home record in the 2023 league. Armagh out in the championship in 3 weeks' time. Galway leave here with the 2 points. A big win for them, an important victory. It's Galway who win by 1-8 to Armagh's 1-6.
An exciting end